Hello everybody, my name is Marlo and welcome back to the survival world. Last episode we did all of the things you are currently seeing me walk through, or well, at least most of them. We completed our high street here for the most part. We made 3 buildings. We have the butchery over here, the armorer, yes that's right, not the weaponsmith, who is still in the same position as last episode. He is deciding just not to budge. And we have the leather worker over here, and then we added this main walkway going through the middle, which I think turned out really nicely. And yeah, we are going to be working on the village today some more. We're going to be building up at least one more building, but first let's talk maps. So recently on a live stream we went on an exploration mission around the world, getting together all of these maps in this barrel, which I'll quickly run through right now so you can see some of the locations that we scouted out and put on a map. We wore our elytras out, both of them thick and thin, mainly on this map right here. This is a 1:16 scaled map, meaning it's the biggest it can possibly be. It took about 20 minutes to fill all this out. Whether it was worth it or not, that is a different matter, but yes, those are all of the maps, and some of these of a selective choosing I'm going to be putting in the Cartographers House, which is the main thing we'll be doing over at the village today. Before we start doing any building, I would like to make a couple more maps, and the first thing we're going to do is to actually fly over to the village and just see how much of this we can fit on a map and how it's going to work and whether it centers up nicely or not. So we're just going to go to the rough center here, which is probably good, I'd say around about here, and right click. That honestly looks pretty promising. So we could either expand the map to make it a 1:4 scale or 1:2 scale. I'm not sure how it works. 1:4 I think. So I think we would probably fit everything in then, or we could get 4 or 6 maps and trying to make a big one basically. So I'm gonna have a play around here and see if we can get something that looks pretty cool. Okay, the idea of expanding it didn't really work. We're gonna need to go with the several map option. Not bad at all. It could maybe do with being a little bit more centralized. Although, actually, we could just get 3 more maps at the top here, and then it would be much more in the center. Okay, let me go do that, actually, and then we'll have a closer look. Whoa! Wow, that was very smooth. Very smooth indeed. 1 and 2 and 3. There we go. That looks so much better. That's pretty much center. I mean, not exactly. We're going to have to plan beforehand if we want it to be center of the map exactly, but yeah, that looks super cool. So you can see our high street over there with the village houses. The shepherd's house looks really cool actually. Quite a lot of colour in the back garden over there. Of course, our bridge leading to the marketplace and the town hall, and all of our custom boats along the river winding on round. And obviously the giant wall going all the way around the outside. And we've even got our villager campsite over here. So yeah, that looks really cool. I'm going to keep it here for now and wait until we actually build the cartographer's house. Because yeah, this isn't exactly a permanent location for it. We are going to go build that in a second. I would just like to pop a map open over here by the main house and see how much of this little area we can fit in. So fingers crossed this all fits on one map. It would be amazing if it could, but the chances are low. Yes, okay, so we've got the barn in place, which looks amazing, by the way. Also part of our Turtle Island. I got a feeling this may be a 4x4 map that we would need. Hold on a second, ignore me, I completely misunderstood. This thing over here is our house. I for some reason thought it was something else, so we've pretty much got the entire map on. We could maybe do with another going off in this direction. If we just head off the map and start swimming and click this one open, we kind of get the outer edge of the Turtle Island over here and our little docking station just there on that little bit peeking out from the beach. I think that's enough of the maps for now. We're 5 minutes into the episode and I haven't really done anything other than make some pieces of paper, so let's get on with some building. As I said, we're going to be building the Cartographers House, hence all of the maps we've been making, and that is located here just next to where our library is going to go for all of the librarians. So we've got plenty of room to work with here. The building I've designed is kind of this shape except enlarged by about 2 times the size. So yeah, I'm going to get to building this and then we can start placing some maps on the inside. Do you guys notice anything different about this build? We're quite far away. Maybe let's take a closer fly in. This block right here. Hang on, that one right there. That is a brown mushroom block, and I've decided to add it into our palette for this village. I think it blends quite nicely with the other blocks, doesn't stand out too much, but just adds a slight color change, which I think looks quite nice. So last episode I asked you guys for some advice on all of the houses looking the same and what we could do to change it up a little bit. So a lot of you said maybe add some shrubbery or bushes around the houses just to add a little bit of extra green color, which is certainly a good idea. I'm just not too confident I could do that in a nice way. I don't often add bushes to my build, but definitely something to keep in mind. Another lot of you said to add in bricks on the roof. They're already in our block palette here, but we could also replace them with the oak every now and again. So take the leatherworker's house here, for example. There's not a whole lot of brick going on in the build apart from the bottom of these posts here. So maybe we could change out the oak on the top to brick instead. That's something we could do. And then a lot of you also said it looks fine like it is. It's nothing really to worry about. Having all the houses the same makes sense in a village, and as long as we have other stuff going on around, it shouldn't really look too bad. So I'm not as concerned about it anymore, but I think it's still going to be good to maybe change them up just a little bit in the future. So I've also been doing some thinking of blocks we could add to our palette. Obviously brown mushrooms is one of them. Mushroom stems is another. Smooth sandstone also looks quite nice. Bone blocks, and there's a few others that I may try and fit into some builds that we do from out here in the future. Maybe even change a couple of the ones we've already done. So yeah, that's good. That's made me feel better about all of the houses looking the same and that whole ordeal. But let's take a quick run around the Cartographer's house here. As you can see, it's a house. I don't really know what else to say. You saw me saw it being built, so I think let's really go inside because that is what you haven't seen. And if we walk through the front door here, you can see a very, very fancy flooring here. This is actually beehives. Very expensive block to make, but I got plenty of honeycomb, so it's not really too bad. Just looks like a different wood type. I think it looks quite nice. So yeah, this is the bottom floor, and then this is the top floor. Obviously, we still have lots of stuff to add in. How I like to do my interiors is pretty much refine all of the floors and the roofs and the walls. Do I hear a pillager patrol? It sure sounds like it. So, okay, they're being very loud. I like to refine all of the roof and this. Guys, please stop, because you're making me lose my ability to talk here. Now I can't kill you because otherwise I'm going to start a raid. Oh, give me a second, guys. I got to deal with these. Stupid pillagers, always spawning and getting in the way and being annoying stupid pillagers. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Now, what was I saying? Upstairs, yes, and the interior of the house. So, what I like to do with my builds when it comes to decorating the insides is to refine the walls, the ceiling, and the floor, and, you know, if there's a second level, get that in place, and just basically give myself a blank canvas to add in other little bits of interior design. So that's what we can see. The general structure of the house inside is done. Now it comes to adding in, you know, whether we want to have any tables, the villager's bed, of course, he's going to need to have the cartographer's table somewhere inside of here, and of course the maps. And I already know where the map of the village is going to go. We have this nice 3x3 area ready to plonk down some item frames. Right now, I am in my storage room gathering together a bunch of different items I think may look good for the inside of the interior of our cartographer's home. Still got a little bit extra to grab, but I thought while I'm down here, I would maybe get a bit ahead of myself. As you can see, I've got a brewing stand down, ready to brew up some potions, because I'm gearing up for my live stream on the weekend, which already would have gone by the time you guys are watching this video. But I'm going to go raid some ocean monuments, kill some guardians, get some sponges. It should be a very fun and exciting stream, so hopefully those of you who made it enjoyed it, of course. And yeah, I'm doing that because I want to start a pretty big project of making a guardian farm. I've never made one before in Minecraft, and I think it'd be a really fun project we could do in the stream. So for however long it takes, the next few weekends, I would imagine at least, in the streams we are going to be making a guardian farm. So if that sounds like something you're interested in and want to come along for the ride, then another shameless Twitch plug, sorry. My Twitch link in the description. I stream every Sunday at 7 PM UK time. So come along for the guardian project. It should be a fun one. And time to go to sleep. Let's hit the hay. Hello, sheepy. I'm not gonna lie, guys, I completely forgot I had my villagers hid over here underground. We've got all of my librarians down here, and I think there's a couple farmers too. I got a mending trade over here somewhere. I believe it's this guy right here. Yes, 18 emeralds for a mending book. Not too bad, I know it could be better, but I don't really know what to do with these guys because their trades are locked and I don't really need them, apart from that guy maybe, so some point soon I might have to drown them, but we'll save that for another day. So let's hop over to the Cartographers House and I can show you around the inside real quick. Let's swoop on in over here, and I really like this house. I think it looks super cool with all of the maps down here. So I haven't actually hung that many on the wall just because I preferred them flat on some sort of tables. So I'm imagining this is the cartographer's workstation over here. You know, this is where he makes the maps. I don't really know how it would work. I guess he just draws them after his exploration mission, but he's got this one hung up, a couple more in the process of being made. This is the giant one that took absolutely ages, and then maybe he's got a couple here that he's selling for some reason or another. I've got a buried treasure map down here, which looks awesome, some storage and that sort of stuff, compass of course, and then if we head upstairs, we have the big old map, which looks pretty cool. I mean, it's very colorful in contrast with the rest of the room, but maps are always like that. So yeah, we'll update this over time, and by the end of the finished village, this should look awesome. Little table, chair to look out the window, his bed, of course, his toasty fireplace, and a nice little painting on the wall. And you may have noticed, I've also got a bell above the door, and I thought, since I have so many bells, that would be a cool little thing to add into all of the shops. So anything that looks as though it would sell stuff, we can maybe put a bell above the door. All of the bells have now been placed in the villager houses with the exception of the armorer and the stonemason. Those two, I wouldn't say they're shops, they don't have anything on display in the windows, as you can see, so it wouldn't really make sense to have a bell above the door alerting the villagers whenever they have a customer, because they're not gonna have any customers. So yeah, I just thought that was a little cool thing we could do with all of the bells with the houses in this village. So I am aware I need to bring the cartographer over, by the way. I'm just going to do that off camera. I've shown you me bringing the villagers over on my rail enough times by now. With villager breeder over there and rail all the way around to the village, to the home. You guys know the deal. So what I want to do instead is going to be to work on some of our smaller homes in the village now. So in case you're a little bit confused, maybe this is the first video of mine you've watched with this series, why there's colored concrete everywhere in the village, that is because they are markers for specific builds that I want to do. So all of the colored ones, with the exclusion of the yellow dots, they're meant to be pathways. All of the colored shapes are for specific villager types. So this is our farmer, I think that's fisherman, librarian, that sort of stuff. But the red houses with the red concrete powder are just for general village houses. It's nothing particular. They're going to be a little bit smaller and not quite as nice as the other ones, but we've got a lot of them. So I think what I want to do now is try and tackle some of these. I'm not sure how many I'm going to get done or even how well it's going to go. Haven't planned it in creative, so I'm going to give it my best shot and just wing it here in survival. For right now, all I'm focusing on is getting the actual builds in place and worrying about the detail afterwards. So I'm doing my best to keep with the general outline of the coloured concrete, bringing up the walls and the pillars to a height that I think would be good, and then of course adding in the roof, just so I've got this blank canvas to build upon afterwards when it comes to adding in the windows, the shutters, awnings, crates, and all the other little details that I like to do afterwards. And I'm also going to try incorporate some of our other new block palette materials I mentioned about earlier into some of these, so they all look pretty blank and bland right now, but I just wanted to get a general idea of what each of these would look like. And believe it or not, it takes longer to come up with builds in survival than it does in creative. Who would have thunk it? Not me. No, obviously I knew it was going to take longer. This is about 2 hours worth of work, I think, and there's something just so satisfying about time lapses that are of a great length and are condensed into such a short amount of time. I think it's just really nice to look at. I seem to spend more time looking at the clouds whiz by at the top than the actual building. As I said, it's all looking rather boring up here at the moment. It's going to look so much better once I get everything actually in place. So, as I said, I'm going to add in the detail of each of these houses, which apparently have some mobs inside of, but I don't think I'm going to be able to get time today to do all of the paths going round and all of the other little details I'd like to add in of this surrounding area. So I'm thinking maybe next episode. Okay, we have a cat in the window. You okay up there, buddy? I'm sure he's fine. So I'm thinking maybe next episode we could do something focused on like adding immersion into builds and really get this place to feel alive. So yeah, that's maybe something I'll save for next episode. We can finalize this little area, but for right now I'm just going to go around all of these builds and make them look a little bit prettier individually, of course. In the next episode we will be able to bring it all together, so say. I have finished the detailing of all of these houses, so I'm just going to take a walk around here and you can glance at them as we walk on by, as most of the little parts I've added in are pretty much the same as everything we've done so far, with the exception of this little bit around here actually, which I thought I'd show you. I thought it was a nice little thing to add in. So because I've got this wall at the same level with this block here, I was able to get rid of a couple of blocks and put some scaffolding in, and it kind of looks like a chunk of the wall has fallen out and it's holding it up in place. Not that these houses are meant to look worn down or anything like that, but I was running out of things to add in to all of these houses. There's only so much, and then it starts to look a bit repetitive, but I think I've done an okay job here. As you can see, it's not looking too bad, and I haven't got round to adding in many of our new blocks into the palette. There's a little bit of brown mushroom block on that house over there. You can't really see it, but I'm thinking maybe I wait until everything is kind of finalized around here and we can get the paths and everything in next episode, and then I can think about changing up some blocks. So for now, all of the houses are pretty similar looking, but I'd say they're still pretty nice either way. And this house right here is a little bit different. As you can see, I've tried to add in some texture variation on the wall with some mushroom stem, some bone block, and some diorite alongside our white terracotta. And for the most part, this looks good, except from the diorite, and I think that's because it's not quite as subtle as these other three blocks. The texture just stands out way too much for it to be used as little as this. If it had to be the main block, as opposed to the white terracotta being what we're using the most, I feel like I could get away with using this block palette, but just adding in a couple of blocks here and there stands out way too much. So on this wall around the front, or the side of the build I guess, the main door is over there, this one has no diorite in, just a bone block, the mushroom stem, and the white terracotta. And I think it looks pretty good, so maybe let me know what you guys think about this, and we could possibly add it into some of the other builds around the place. I'm not sure, you guys will have to let me know what you think about all of that. Also, off camera, I moved in our cartographer into his new home. Here he is, right in the entrance, greeting me. I need to be able to get in, dude. Can you let me in? Apparently not. Okay, well there's proof he's in place. I'm going to have to break around the side of the building here through the window. Hopefully he doesn't try and do a runner. And plop them back down. Okay, yeah, so I've done a little bit of trading with him, so his trades are locked in place. Hopefully you're not going to be a problem like the other villagers are sometimes. But I thought we'd just come up to our map real quickly here. Oh, you coming to join me? Oh, is it nearly nighttime? It's probably nearly nighttime. And click this map here, and that should update. No, that's the wrong side. I need these ones down here. Okay, there's part of it. We're gonna have to do a several map process here. Am I really gonna have to get all four just to update this thing? Is that all of it? The little area we did today? I think we've managed to get it all. So yeah, we can every now and again at the end of each episode. Oh, there's the firework going off. It's time to go to bed. We can maybe update this from time to time, but that's looking pretty cool, I'd say. And now it is time for what you've all been waiting for. It's time to name the turtles. So last episode I asked you guys for what we could give our 3 turtles as some names, and I had lots of good suggestions. Many of you said I should get another turtle, and well, don't go yet, I need to give you your name first. Another turtle, and name them after the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I was very tempted to do that, but in the end I decided to go on 3 separate names from 3 separate people, so those respective comments are going to be on the screen. We have Scooter, Smitch, and Slowpoke. So before you run off into the water, you can become Scooter and you can become Smitch. Okay, you're now free to go. I'll be able to track you and keep checking on you when you do come back to the shore, and I will just have to keep an eye out for Slowpoke and wait to give him his name tag. So if you happen to have read that last comment from the person who suggested Slowpoke, you may have seen there was a question attached to that comment which some of you may be intrigued about. Basically, they asked me if I would do some tutorials on all of the villager houses, specifically the clerics over there, and I'm just wondering, is that something you guys would like to see? It probably wouldn't be for a little while. I will most likely wait until I've got them all designed and most likely like bulk record it and release it over time as somewhat of a mini series. So yeah, is that something you would like to see? I would probably make them not diagonal and just flatten them out so they look like a regular house, like the cleric's one that doesn't really have anything that obscure about it, and the stone cutter I would just push back a couple of blocks and try and pretty them up a little bit and make them slightly better and ready for a tutorial. So yeah, is that something you guys would like to see? I'm gonna try put a poll on the screen, fingers crossed I remember. If not, just let me know in the comments what you think about it. Is that something you'd like to see sometime in the future? Not sure whether it's going to be a definite, just want to get an idea whether it's something you guys would be interested in. But that, everybody, is going to be it for today's episode. Thank you ever so much for watching. I really hope you did enjoy it, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.